in this case is a fugitive, Carter Johnson. My client may know his whereabouts and might be willing to testify.
He'll deliver on that?
Well, that depends.
If you waive all objections and appeal and he's willing to cooperate, then we'll drop the assault and kidnapping and we'll reduce murder 1 to manslaughter, voluntary, 10 years.
Involuntary, 3 to 5.
Voluntary manslaughter, 10 years. It's a good deal.
It's an enema of sunshine.
You know what, I don't have time for this.
Well, I'm sorry for taking a nanosecond off of your assembly line rubber stamp existence.
The people withdraw their offer.
I don't care. What the, hello?
How did you get the idea for this character in particular?
I am old enough to remember the 60s. I was growing up in the 60s. I was 10 years old toward the end of the 60s. And there was this incredible spirit of activism. You turn on the TV, there were millions of people around the country fighting for civil rights and women's rights and anti-war movement. And I just was growing up feeling like, oh my God, I'm entering this world where everybody's involved and fighting for something. And I witnessed over the last 4 decades the sort of diminishment of that. And I started to wonder, what would happen to somebody who hadn't left from that period if they had never sort of lost the ardor and the fervent sort of belief in something, and where would they be now, and what would the benefit of that be, sort of in terms of what's guiding their lives, and what would the price tag be of that if they had, you know, self-sacrificed for a cause. And that was sort of the genesis of the story.
And you wrote this with Denzel in mind?
I'd never met Denzel. After Nightcrawler, I took myself off the market. I wrote this on spec. Took almost a year, and I decided that if Denzel didn't do it, I was not going to make the film. I was going to put it aside. And I sent it to Denzel, and I flew to New York shortly before you were doing Fences. And we had a very long lunch, and we decided to commit to do it.
This one, though, is pretty irresistible character to play. I mean, completely different, too. And, you know, another thing to add to your long resume of interesting characters. But what was it about this one that struck you when you met with Dan?
Just what you said. It was different, and so different than Fences. It's such a different character, and so well written. I mean, it wasn't a difficult decision. I read it and I knew I wanted to do it.
Talk about developing this character, because I understand you went through a whole, you'll see when you see it, a physical transformation here too.
Yeah, it led me down the path of the spectrum. I did a lot of research about Asperger's and mimicking, what they call mimicking neurotypical behavior. He is brilliant, but he lacks certain social skills.
Our collaboration started, I mean, months before that. I wrote the screenplay, but Denzel very much created the character, the look, the mannerisms, lines of dialogue, and I very much saw my job as a director working with Denzel is to create a space that you felt comfortable creating in, and to allow you to create. And I think when that for me was the process, ultimately what it came down to.
And the music, too, is such a character in this film. I thought the music was very key. And I know you have like an iPod full of music, and you had something to say about the kind of stuff that you thought should be.
No, you know, one of the songs, when you see the film, there's a scene where he comes in with his headphones on. And while we were shooting the scene, you had your headphones on, and you could hear the buzz. It was turned up so loud. So after like 2 hours of shooting, I finally come up, we're done. I go, what song are we listening to? And
The Jack DeJohnette?
No, it was Cosmic Slop.
Oh, Cosmic Slop.
And so that we wound up putting this great P-Funk song. We might be the first people to use Cosmic Slop in a movie, which I'm very proud of.